administration right now. Our children are going to have to
get. This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. Takes 4 days to do a one-day job. I might have fucked up.
Jail. I voted for a lot more politicians to be stripped of their power and put in prison for the crimes that they've committed against humanity. I voted for the Epstein list to come out. The full list. The full fucking list of every politician, every bureaucrat that had anything to do with those minors.
Welcome back to Brilliance React YouTube channel, and we are going to react to the claim that some Hispanic people are regretting as to why they voted for Donald Trump. You know, in the 2024, they helped, some of the Latinos helped hand in Donald Trump's victory. And now that they are regretting that they are being betrayed, they are being used. What are your thoughts about this? Let's watch this video and I will come back with my conclusion at the end of the video. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my content, and for those that haven't subscribed, kindly do so. Like, share and comment down your opinions concerning this. Thank you.
I mean, 2 weeks. I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote?
I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
I voted for Trump, and I regret it now.
As a Hispanic, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Dude, I regret it so much, man.
I am regretting my vote for Donald Trump.
I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret it.
A lot of people who were like me voted for Trump and have to account for that.
I regret voting for Trump.
So deeply regret my vote for Donald Trump.
I regret voting for Trump.
I was a dumbass, voted for Trump. It was the worst decision I ever made.
I've seen the light, and I got out of Maga. A lot of us there have seen the light. We have deep regrets.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible. That's why he's still running.
I was with Trump for 9 straight years. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Trump right now.
I was a dumbass, voted for Trump. It was the worst decision I ever made.
I've seen the light, and I got out of Maga. A lot of us there have seen the light. We have deep regrets.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible. That's why he's still running.
I was with Trump for 9 straight years. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Trump right now. I'm no longer rocking with Trump.
I used to be a Maga Republican, and now I've turned blue. And it makes me emotional to know that I ever fucking stood by idly and blind and let that shit happen.
Because I know that I have been a Trump supporter, and I can no longer say that I am MAGA. And
I regret my vote for Trump.
I voted for Trump. I'm done. I don't have any more resilience in me.
I never thought that I would see a day where I would be rooting for a university above Donald J. Trump and his administration. But I don't recognize his administration right now. I don't recognize what's happening. How could Trump be such a free speech enthusiast and allowing these things to happen? Going after college universities, trying to suppress speech while pretending that you're not suppressing speech, while pretending that you're fighting DEI. It's so messy. It's so obvious. Everyone knows what you're doing. People who are still trying to grift, I suppose, are not willing to challenge you on this, which is ridiculous, because when you are out of office, we are going to have to live with these consequences. Our children are going to have to grow up in this America. Okay? So when you threaten our speech, it's not worth it so that we can have pom-poms and go hurrah for a couple of years, then go, okay, well, yeah, now it kind of stinks because, oh, we're getting arrested for wrongthink.
Wait, why did nobody tell me that birthright citizenship was meant for the babies of slaves? On the basis of that logic, we got to follow what Trump says, y'all. A lot of things have changed. If you don't have a musket Yeah, can't tell me about the Second Amendment. Baby, if you're not pouring in, and I mean pouring it in, shoving that stick down and ready to shoot, so no more blickies, the Glocks, you're gonna have to put them down. Yeah, sorry about that, folks, but Trump daddy said it's no more. Birthright was meant for slaves, for babies of slaves. So I'm sorry. We really gotta start taking this stuff to heart now, because he knows so much about how this country was founded and everything. And honestly, at this point, we need to re-roll out the entire Constitution. Like, let's light this candle. Let's talk about the amendment number 8. We're supposed to be protected from cruel and unusual punishment, but every time Orange Guy gets on the screen, I'm feeling very cruel and punished.
U.S. farmers are regretting their vote for Donald Trump after their business suffers. Womp womp. Since China implemented their tariffs, farmers are suffering because soybean farmers, especially in the Midwest, are not being able to export as much as they're used to. I wonder why. Yet they voted for him anyway. They voted for him about 2 or 3 times, actually. I don't know how you thought voting for him would help you in your business when creating tariffs will probably hurt you. And he's said he's going to do this multiple times. But, another example of Americans thinking that other parts of the world need them the most. Brazil is the #1 soybean import for China. They don't need the U.S. Brazil is steadily increasing the production year after year after year, while the U.S. has remained stagnant. And y'all thought Donald Trump getting in office will help y'all? You put somebody in office who directly hinders your business. I need these people to take a survey so I can understand why they make the decisions that they do. But again, womp womp. You put somebody in office because of reasons, and now you're paying the price because of those same reasons. You just thought they wouldn't affect you.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. I have a construction company, and not a fucking thing is getting done. This is what I get. This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a 1-day job. I might have fucked up.
Normally the people who regret their vote, yeah, you take them in, whatever, but this guy in particular, he didn't give a fuck until it affected him, and until it affected what? His money. This means that this man voted for families to be torn apart. And right now, he does not care about the families being torn apart. He pretty much, in his videos, I went through his page, his only issue is his pockets. He does not care about the living conditions that these migrants are being put in. He doesn't care about the families being torn apart. He doesn't care about lives being shattered. He literally just gives a fuck that his business is losing money because YT people don't work as hard as migrants. That is it. That's all. That's all he gives a fuck about. So yes, I hope your business fails. I hope you feel every single ounce of that vote. Because you didn't give a shit until it affected your pockets. And that's kind of one of the lowest things. Anyways, my name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow. Are you on to my face again? Thank you. Goodbye.
One of the biggest reasons America can't shake racism is because doing so would require a national reckoning. A real, honest confrontation with the myth of meritocracy. For generations, many white Americans have been taught that success is simply about hard work. That if you grind, you'll rise. That their parents pulled themselves up by the bootstraps. But history tells a different story. From the GI Bill to New Deal housing loans, from whites-only unions to segregated schools, government created policy to springboard white advancement while systemically locking black and brown people out. This wasn't accidental. It was engineered, and it gave white Americans wealth, property, education, and opportunity, while denying those same tools to everyone else. This was affirmative action for white people, but no one called it that. They just called it the American dream. So when we talk about ending racism, we're not just talking about being nice or hiring more black folks. We're talking about exposing the lie. The lie that everyone had an equal shot, that the game was ever fair. And for some, that's a hard truth to swallow. Because if you admit the game was rigged, you have to admit that your win wasn't all skill. It came with an advantage. That's not an attack, that's accountability. And real equality means building a new system, one where success isn't based on who the rules were made for. Until we can admit that, racism will keep getting recycled, just under new names, new policies, and new excuses.
It's time to speak up. Well, it appears the joke's on me. It appears I have been the biggest fool alive. You see, before the last couple of days, I knew that there was a segment of MAGA who just hated, who just wanted to burn the world down, and they don't care who they hurt in the meantime. I knew there was that section, but I really, really thought that most of MAGA just didn't get it. I really thought they just didn't understand. They didn't understand economics because it's complicated. They hadn't studied Project 2025, so they didn't know what was coming. But I really thought when he got in there and started doing the things that hurt so many people, that they would realize, and that they would. But they don't care. Y'all have been telling me this for 2 months, and I kept saying, no, we just have to explain it to them. We just have. Now, I know there are a few, and I thank you guys. You make it worth sticking with this. But over the last couple of days, I have realized that the majority of Republicans do not care how many people are hurt. And they are exactly what Palpatine said. They're the ones he was talking about when he said he could unalive someone in public and they would still vote for him. I thought they just wanted lower egg prices. I thought they were struggling in the economy and it was hard and they wanted their lives to be easier, and they listened to that. And that's why they voted for him. But they don't care. They literally don't care how many other people in this world are hurt. See, the difference is I'm willing to pay more for my eggs if it means no one in my country goes hungry tonight. I am willing to pay more for my eggs if it means everybody can have an egg. But they really don't care. And I am heartbroken that so many in my country don't care. That so many won't go love their neighbor. But I want to thank those of you who are. You're the ones keeping me going. Go love your neighbor.
I think the hardest part about all of this is that middle-aged, I didn't think I could get fooled again by politicians, not after W, which I voted for.
Sure you did. We're not surprised.
I voted for peace and independent parties.
No, you did.
Every election since then.
No, you did.
And I'm still processing the fact that I've part of the demographic that ushered this into power.
Yeah, thanks. Congratulations.
Now we're sending our kids to die in war again. Over nukes.
Yeah.
Not weapons of mass destruction. That was never going to work. It's full-blown, maybe potentially nukes this time.
Yeah.
I hate myself.
Yeah, you should. Oh, you silly biatch. You knew exactly what you were voting for. And you don't sound like the typical podunk, lack of education MAGA type that we see. And you just admitted that you keep up with politics. And he literally has been saying what he was going to do for years. And you know about Project 2025. You voted with your racism and your hate. And now you're in that finding out phase, literally because you're worried about the kids around you that might be shipping out soon, or some of those that might be coming to your hometown. But guess what? There's many of us that we're not forgiving and forgetting you assholes, okay? So welcome to the fascism that you helped create. And you know that last part that you said? We feel the same way. We hate you assholes too, all right? But the rest of you, y'all have a good day now, okay?
You voted for Trump. How do you feel now?
Horrible. Horrible.
What did you vote for?
I voted for change, but I didn't vote for this change.
Through tears, wearing an ICE-issued uniform, Cynthia Oliveira begs the Canadian government for help. She says her nightmare started on June 13th when she went to her green card interview. You thought you were going to be getting your green card, but instead they arrested you. Did they trick you?
Yes. They said, look, She's getting deported immediately.
He supported Donald Trump. His whole entire family supported Donald Trump, and now she sits in an ICE detention center awaiting deportation. She's from Canada, and get this, she was picked up at her green card appointment. So she was going to an appointment. This was in line with her getting her green card, and that is where they detained her. Now, as you can see in her interview, she also supported Donald Trump. She couldn't vote for him because she's undocumented, but she supported him and supported her husband and her husband's family for Donald Trump. And I don't know what to say because we told you this was going to happen. They all think, well, he was only supposed to deport the criminals. We told you that meant you as well. They think that you are a criminal. And it's just frustrating because the Latinos for Trump community was so loud, so boisterous. They made their entire fucking existence known the whole election cycle, telling us that we were wrong and we had no idea what we were talking about. And now the Latinos for Trump community is getting wrecked across the nation. This was one of many stories. There were so many I didn't know who to pick. This is happening everywhere. So Latinos for Trump, think about next election. Think about midterms. My name is Mercedes Chandler. Give me a follow. You won't see my face again. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hold on. What did you just say about Trump?
I said, Trump's a fucking liar. Inflation's going up. Gas prices hasn't really come down that much. Eggs. That's the funny one. The eggs. I'm mad. And I'm a mega man. Okay? I don't see anything he's done.
So is it safe to say that the illusion has faded?
I think it has, yes. You know, I was for him because, you know, everything he said, you know, he played right into my hands. He just told us everything we wanted to hear. That's what he did. I can't even stand to look at him because, you know, he's just he's a con. He's a flat ass, nothing but a fucking con. You know, they all, the right side, they say, oh yeah, the Biden side was so bad. Well, what's so good about the right side? He brags about doing something with our economy, but I haven't seen anything happen yet. That big beautiful bill is going to add, they say $2.5 trillion. It's going to add about $4 trillion to the debt. The big beautiful bill. Oh, what a joke. Remember what happened in the 80s? With trickle-down economics, yeah. The filthy rich got richer, and us guys that worked for a living paid more taxes. I'm disappointed, for sure. I'm real disappointed.
I voted for Trump, and I regret it. Why do I still have access to an education? Why do I still have the right to vote? Why can I go out and become the CEO of a major corporation if I choose to do so? Why can I, as an American woman, still do anything I want, even though Trump is the president? Trump being president is really stressing me out because I was told my rights were going to be taken away from me and the world would stop spinning. So why have both of those things not happened?
Leopards ate my face. Leopards ate my face.
We voted for Trump because he promised while he was campaigning like a million times that when he got into office, he was going to bring down prices, bring down grocery prices. The inflation has been high ever since COVID, and he promised he would bring that down, but it's obvious to me now that that was not true. Egg prices have skyrocketed. The bird flu is killing all the birds, and he doesn't seem to be doing anything about that. He's stopping disease communications from the disease centers in America, pulled us out of the WHO. Like, how does that help anything? And yeah, all he's been doing is taking away rights and freedoms, or trying to. He's not doing anything about the economy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we totally regret our vote at this point. We've had a really tough time here in North Carolina. Half of my house got washed away in Hurricane Helene. And I applied for FEMA assistance and we got approved. But now Trump is canceling FEMA and emergency assistance to people. He's also canceled Medicaid for my children.
Oh, if you think you're upset now, just wait until the tariffs kick in today. It's February 1st, so it's about to get even worse. You think the prices are bad now? Wait a while. You think the eggs cost a lot now? Wait a while. I am so glad. You know how good it makes me feel knowing that these people are effing around or effed around and now found out? Oh, y'all are finding out hard, because now it's affecting you personally. Now your private life is getting affected. You didn't think about that. Because when you live with cognitive dissonance, that's what happens. When you don't do your research, that is what happens. And today, in the world of technology, in the digital world,
I didn't care how things were affecting others until it affected me. Am I proud of that? No. We live in a very cruel world, and sometimes the only way to survive is by being selfish. We are all just out here trying to survive as best we can. And although we may have good intentions and we may be empathetic and we may be compassionate, we will always put ourselves first because we have to survive. And if that means making a mistake in my vote or maybe putting my trust in the wrong person like I did, then that's what it means. I will always put the betterment of my family and vote in ways that I think will help my family above anyone else.
Here's the problem with voting for your self-interest. I understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When you're on the bottom and none of your needs are fulfilled, you can only think of yourself. But here's the problem with that, is you voted for your self-interest. So did everybody else in the Republican Party. Think about that for a minute. You voted for your self-interest, but you don't have anything. Like, you don't have anything. Like, that's what it is. But other people, rich people, they have a lot. So, of course, they're going to vote for their self-interest because they have something. You don't. You need the tribe, right? The socialized healthcare, the socialized dental care, schools, firefighters, police officers, all socialized systems. Is it clicking yet? You voted against the tribe. You know, humans didn't make it on their own. We always existed in a tribe, taking care of each other. You could only take care of yourself if you have something, and you don't have shit.
This guy is sitting in a cell in Louisiana awaiting deportation because of the Trump regime's immigration policies, and he still blames Biden. He gave an interview blaming the Biden administration for this. This guy, Casper Eriksson, he's Danish. He's been working towards becoming a citizen since 2009. He has a wife and kids here, but he's still an immigrant, and they are loud and proud Trump supporters. They fell for the bullshit lie that Republicans would only target criminals. We warned you that they were lying about that. It was an open book test. In 2015, Eriksson failed to submit a form. You submit a lot of forms while trying to become a citizen. He's had more meetings since then, more correspondence from the immigration authorities, and no one ever mentioned this form. It just fell through the cracks. He had a meeting in April of this year. That was supposed to be his final meeting. This was supposed to formalize his naturalization. Instead, he was arrested and he was whisked off to Louisiana. An immigration official explained to him that if that final meeting had happened under the Biden administration, he probably would have been fine. Just to reiterate how deep the cult thinking goes, he failed to submit a form in 2015 when Obama was president. Immigration authorities under the Biden administration continued working with him. Now he's facing deportation under Trump, and he still blames Biden. I don't have any sympathy because the Erikssons said a bunch of racist crap about immigrants. His wife said 90% of them don't deserve to be in the country. They don't speak English. They're criminals. What a disgusting thing to say. And this guy, Casper, says, I'm a patriot. If you come to the US, you live and sound and behave like an American. Gross. If the facts of his case were presented to him, he would be in full support of deportation. If he was presented with a scenario where a brown immigrant who had been in the country for decades, had a wife and 4 children, had been working hard, had been paying taxes, forgot to submit one form 10 years ago, and was now facing deportation, this guy and his wife would be all for it. That's why I have no sympathy. Immigrants voting for mass deportations is just lunacy. But we know why they thought they would be safe.
Hey, I voted for Donald Trump, and really starting to regret my vote because this isn't what I voted for. I voted for a lot more people to go to jail. I voted for a lot more politicians to be stripped of their power and put in prison for the crimes that they've committed against humanity. I voted for the Epstein list to come out. The full list. The full fucking list of every politician, every bureaucrat that had anything to do with those minors.